Hey guys, Snail here. So this video is going to be my first impressions of Palworld, as I've played around 4 hours of it, and let me tell you, it is a really addictive experience. The best way I can put it is kind of like this. I haven't felt this way about a video game since I played Pokemon Blue for the very first time. That was over 20 years ago, so this is unlocking a deep core memory part of my brain, and it's just scratching the perfect itch for me. Everyone thought this game was a meme when the trailers first came out. Everyone thought, hey, you know what, Nintendo is gonna sue the shit out of these guys, won't even see this game come to light. Well, guess what? The game came out, and it's a little bit more than just Pokemon with guns. The game is real, and it's out right now. You can try it on Gamepass for basically free if you don't want to buy it on Steam. However, if you're not on PC and you're not on Xbox, then I'm sorry, but you don't have access to it on PS5, at least not yet. And there is a very, very slim chance it is ever going to release on Switch. You know, for a game everyone thought was a meme, it has a surprising amount of content, especially being early access. Wow, it's already a better game than Redfall. And if you thought this game was going to be strictly a Pokemon clone just with guns as a gimmick, you are basically wrong about that. It's a lot more than just a Pokemon clone. Instead, it would be more accurate to say that Palworld is an updated and better looking Ark Survival Evolved with a Pokemon flavor to it. And as a result, the game is centered around survival game mechanics. Things like resource gathering, or like building up a base. Those things are very important to Palworld. And while you can choose to ignore that in favor of just catching the cute critters that are in very high abundance pretty much everywhere, you're going to end up missing out on a lot of the game experience if that's all that you're coming to the game for. The real reason to catch so many pals in the first place is not just for dogfighting purposes like it is in Pokemon games. It's also because pals can help you build your base in very significant ways. Pals are all unique in their own ways, and as a result, they can all do very different things. Some pals go around your base lighting fires, working with kilns, and cooking food, while others are strictly just there for building or making wool or collecting things on the ground to bring it to containers. This is in addition to any battle stats they have, so it's also important to make sure you take a look at your pals as well as their stats and their unique abilities and traits, because each pal is a little bit different from the last, even among pals that share the same name or type. And yes, by the way, just to answer the question, the pals do have type weaknesses and strengths. Certain type pals are stronger against other type pals, and so on and so forth. Same thing as with Pokemon. Now keep in mind, I made my first base self-sufficient in under 4 hours, and I was really trying to take my time. Now while this might seem like it's a bit underwhelming for people who are experienced base builders in more hardcore survival games, it's important to remember that this is not a hardcore survival game. This is a very casual experience. I have a feeling that if it's somebody who's looking for a hardcore survival experience, this isn't the game that they're going to enjoy. So the survival and base building mechanics are not necessarily very deep or very interesting at all. But it definitely helps that there's a lot of other mechanics to get into in the game. For example, you can either participate in the survival mechanics, or you can look towards catching pals, getting to learn them, battling with them, leveling them up, and so on and so forth. However, the good thing about this is that if the idea of playing a survival game is intimidating at all for you, don't worry, because the survival element is so casual, you will have no problem at all hopping into the game and just enjoying it for what it is, which is a really weird mishmash of all sorts of different mechanics that really shouldn't work in tandem, but they work seamlessly here for some reason. At first, you wake up on an island with absolutely nothing. Just you, your fists, and whatever scraps of clothing you have on your back. So this means you're going to be collecting resources at first by just punching things, whether that's wood or trees, or relentlessly attacking the local wildlife. By the way, this is not Pokemon, so these pals don't faint when you beat them. They quite literally die. Yes, you are killing these creatures. Yes, it will feel very bad the first time. However, alright, looks like we're making food out of these guys. You know, I felt bad doing this to the first one. I don't feel bad about it anymore. In fact, killing them's kind of fun. Now, eventually, as you build your first primitive workbench, which is like the first level of workbench, you'll be able to build things such as Pal Spheres, which is pretty much just Pokeball by another name. I mean, they're not even trying to make it any different. I mean, even if you look at the catch animation, it's very reminiscent of what a 3D Pokemon catch might look like. And then you'll be able to build yourself your own tools, which will be used for further resource gathering, easier gathering in fact. And keep in mind that these tools do degrade with use, so you'll have to keep them repaired and in good condition. As you level up, you'll be able to unlock technology points, which go towards learning how to build new and better technology to further upgrade your base, your person, and your pals. This includes the ability to give them things like guns, for example, which I haven't got to yet, but as soon as I do, don't worry, I'll make a video about it. Once you have your base set up, you will be subject to raids that will just happen randomly at different intervals, usually during nighttime, and they could range from really scary looking pals, to being just like random syndicate thugs, which by the way, as a fun fact, you can also catch the syndicate thugs and make them your pals. By extension, you can also butcher your pals. What does this mean? You can butcher syndicate thugs. Yay, cannibalism. Now, the game isn't just roam around and survive and collect resources. There is a bit of structure to it in terms of like doing, for example, boss fights and exploring the towers, which are somehow tied into the story, but honestly, I haven't gotten to any of that yet, so I don't have too much insight on it. All I can say is that there's definitely a story progression of some sort in this game. I just haven't bothered with it. The game is 4-player on a multiplayer, regular, whatever server. But if you use a dedicated server, you could have up to 32 players, which means that you could have entire communities sharing one server. However, there is no PvP just yet, so it might not seem such an attractive prospect until PvP gets worked in somehow, some way. Overall, it's been a very charming experience. I've only put about 4 hours into the game, but I am looking forward to putting many, many dozens more hours into it. My favorite part about the game is that it just seamlessly blends all these different, really satisfying things about games from like the past 15 years all into one neat little package. So whether you're a seasoned survival gamer who really wants to enjoy something casual with your friends who aren't necessarily as into the genre as you, or you're someone who has never played a survival game and you'd like to know where to start, this game is perfect for you. It's like when you go to Subway and you just get the perfect sandwich made for you. That's what this game feels like. Now, the game is still in early access, so there will be updates, there will be new content, but honestly, what we have so far is already really good, especially if you compare it to some AAA games that did not launch in early access, but may as well have just had that tag anyways. Looking at you, Redfall. So there it is. There's my opinion on Palworld. There are my first impressions. I'm likely going to be playing the game a lot over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SnailOXD. Yeah, go follow it if you want to see some primetime live cringe. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it and subscribe. They're free. They won't cost you a dime. And I'm trying to hit that 1,000 sub mark. And with your help, I'll be able to hit that 1,000 sub mark, no problem. Until next time, take care, brush your hair. I'm Snail, and I'm out of here. See you guys. Peace.